You're welcome back to the Cocoa Digest Morning Show. If you're just tuning in, this is the Cocoa Digest Morning Show, and we are about to have our online news review with two of my co-hosts, as usual, Clement Yabankwe and Miriam Abnadidi. So let's get right into it. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah.
How are we doing?
By grace, you can't complain.
So the week has just begun, and how has your weekend been? What are your anticipations for the week ahead?
Right. So my weekend was very good as usual because I don't joke with my resting time, and so I had enough rest. And I'm looking forward to having a blissful week because we've been through a lot lately. So I think I'm just looking up to having a nice time. Maybe Clement and also then.
And no. What can you So we are hoping for the best, Yaira. God has been so faithful, but there is a saying that He knows the best, so we still hope for the best.
Every time we come on set, you will say something Christian. You say something Muslim next time. Buddhist. Let's be moving. Okay, yeah. So what's trending? What's piece of news have you heard around?
Yaira, today. I'm not a football fan, but let's talk a little bit about football.
But Clemens, why are you not a football fan? You are a guy. Oh,
I can't play, so
I don't remember the homo. He was MP champion, so yeah, it's understandable.
Yeah, so since I can't play, I won't give some. You understand? So I'm not a football fan, but I followed the EPL. They started. That was on Friday.
okay.
Yes. Those days, I was playing football. No, those days, I used to support Chelsea.
Okay.
That was those days.
It's good you said I used to.
I used to. Yes.
I would have been disappointed.
Hey.
Oh, I have a few loved ones that support Chelsea.
Are they male or female?
And they are going through a lot.
Women's fellowship.
Is it? Mimi, those days, you see, the reason why Ghanaians were supporting Chelsea was because of Michael Essien.
Yeah.
Those days, yes, that's what we're supporting. Okay. But you see, Chelsea lost their match to Man City by 2-0.
Where you are?
Man U, on the first opening, scored 1-0 by getting
Team Papa.
Team Papa no.
But I didn't change.
So that's a trending aspect of EPL. Yes, but Clock Sports will bring them the details of all this.
I think yesterday they gave some highlights on
some of
that,
the matches.
Yeah.
Yes.
And yesterday, this team, Tottenham, and then the other one.
Leicester City, right?
Yeah, I'm never able to pronounce the name.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
it was 1-1.
Yeah, 1-1.
Yes.
We are hoping that they also do well.
So, which team do you support in EPL?
Oh, Manchester United.
You see, it's just we just started EPL.
Yeah,
so let's see
I
the
just
next.
Support them with my mouth too. If you ask me to mention one player's name, I don't know. Their coach, I don't know.
I see. I know a few names. I think Chelsea had some Sido, you know, the names are pretty difficult to pronounce, so I just don't even.
Those days, the people I remember: Solomon, Kalu, those kind of Zoba, Michael Essien, John Terry,
and also. You've been around for a while because throwback man.
Right. So away from football or EPL, I think over the weekend the New Patriotic Party also launched their manifesto in Western region, and it was an occasion that saw patriotic members of the party coming together to support the party and its manifesto. And I'm talking about this because the other time I spoke about NDC, so let me speak about NPP so that I'm not tagged as being partisan. But you see, a few policies I picked out of the manifesto was the fact that Vice President made mention of one teacher, one car, that every teacher is going to get access to, owning a car when he comes into power. And then another one was that our Ghana cards are going to replace passports, or they are going to help to make passport acquisition easier. Instead of going to queue and other things. All your informations are on the your information are on the
Ghana
Ghana card. And so when you get to the passport office, all you need is just submit the card, and then the code will be used to help you in the process. So these two policies are, the few policies that stood out for me.
It's nice. It's nice, but we want its feasibility. Now that teachers are going to own card era, I'm sure I'll go back to yes. But we still want to know how feasible it's going to be.
And I mean, as much as we would like to pick apart some of these things, well, it is one of the plans, and I'm sure that it will probably be after stuff like wages and their welfare has been catered to before the car issue, because we have teachers of all the various levels striking literally every day because of their conditions of service.
And that even reminds me, CTAG have called off the strike.
Okay.
Yesterday they had a meeting.
Yeah, they had a meeting with Labor Commission at the Ministry of Labor and Employment Relations.
Yeah.
So at least if we hear things like this, that as the strike has been called off, maybe an agreement has been reached, their welfare is going to be catered to properly, then things like the car issues that are predominantly a luxury, even though these days it's more of a necessity now. But if we look at it on a scale, we realize that your wages are more important than your car.
Of course.
So if all these things are catered to, and then this policy is implemented, then we know that, okay, but if not, and then it is implemented just like that, then there's a problem.
They shouldn't also forget to make sure that they'll give them their vehicle maintenance allowance so that they will not come and strike again.
Because another set of teachers were striking over that.
Of course.
Yeah, right. This issue, I didn't want us to diagnose it. That is why I just want us to give it as it. Because if we should diagnose it, someone would ask, why a car? Why not looking at the aspects of their housing?
Yes.
Exactly.
A place to sleep. But why a car? Maybe they have their own reason. That's why I say we don't want to diagnose.
Yeah, that's why I'm
issue.
saying that maybe all the other welfare needs would be met, and then the car thing also comes in. Then it makes it a full circle kind of thing. So we hope for the best for the flag bearer of the NPP.
Before NDC to be doing this coming Saturday.
Okay.
At the Central Region, particularly University of Education.
Okay. It seems they are picking the swing regions.
Yes.
I know, right?
And they did it Winneba.
Okay.
The majorities leaders, that's his constituency.
Okay.
So it's going to be something.
I like the strategic,
They know that these regions don't tend to follow loyalty to one party. If you don't perform, we remove you. So they have to try to catch them and be able to get in their good books that, hey, so and so, we want to do this for you. So, and it is a very good strategy, and all the best to
Lastly,
them.
let me talk about this news. I think it is worth talking about. Now, Ghanaian business mogul Dr. Daniel Macaulay, popularly known as Magdan, has done something extremely, how do I put it, something big that I think every media house needs to talk about it. Now, he extended an invitation to some street hawkers in Accra to leave the streets by asking them to visit his office for potential job opportunities.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Right. And he expressed his intention to improve the livelihoods of these street hawkers by offering them stable employment opportunities. And this is what we need to be seeing and hearing in our media.
That's true.
Right.
Sure.
And I'm very happy that he has taken this bold step. And I know Magdan can do and do more. He can do, abundantly, exceedingly.
Is it good? Okay. So, is there any details about the kind of employment?
Not really. But
Or that hasn't come out yet?
no.
Because when something like this usually comes out, there needs to be a strict form of transparency.
Of course.
Because this is not to stain Magdan's reputation or anything of the sort, but this is based on the fact that sometimes we hear these things and it usually ends up as something bad that I do not even want to talk about or I don't want to mention. So we hope that he can, put that out there openly, open it to people put in stakeholders or even partner with people so that these hawkers are not subject to something else. And even the people he involves, if nobody will pass, will just go and do some backhanded deals and end up taking all these, because these street hawkers are predominantly women.
Yeah.
And we know the kind of dangers women face.
Exactly.
Even by just breathing.
Exactly.
So I hope that as if he's watching or if people around him are watching, they can help to make this more transparent, make it more open to everybody, and then we get more information about it, and then the well-being of the people. Kudos to McDan. We really appreciate this effort. So, is there anything else?
Yes. Before we get to the online, there's this news. It says persons with renal diseases to picket Kolobo Center over closure of facility.
Oh, but recently it was said in the news that they due to a few how do I put it, financial instability, or they didn't really have resources. That's why they closed it. But now they've gotten them. So
Yeah, so they said it was supposed to open on the 14th of August.
Okay.
But still, it's closed. And even the consumables that they need is still not available. And per their own findings, they've got to know that the consumables are at the port.
Yeah, they haven't been cleared.
Yes, so the Ministry of Finance and Ghana Revenue Authority is supposed to work on in clearing such items. But still, it has not been cleared. And these people are really suffering.
Yeah, and that even reminds us of the loss of one of us, which happened yesterday. And it was as a result of kidney failure. And that is very sad.
That's very sad.
May his soul rest in peace. And we hope that the ministries and all the stakeholders involved can start to move and be proactive about clearing these consumables for the patients.
Sure.
There are lives at stake. So can we get into the online news now? Okay.
Yes.
Today's news. The first story says, police officer surrenders after shooting a citizen over a fair disagreement. So Officer Smith Jechi, who shot and killed a 25-year-old man on Sunday at Koan's estate in Accra, has turned himself into the Amasaman police station. And around 3 in the morning, Jechi, an international relations directorate officer, was driving a commercial Matiz car with the license plate GW 645921. When the event happened, Jechi had also gone to Ablekuma to pick up a passenger named Esther Owusua. And when she became disoriented or lost her way and phoned her counterpart, Stanley Ahaji, the one who had passed away, the one who's been shot, for help. And allegedly, when the driver got there, there was a bit of a dispute at the estate gate, and the dispute became pretty heated, and Jechi allegedly took out his sidearm and shot Ahaji without warning. So he has turned himself in as well.
I think that is a good thing to do. I mean,
he's a police officer. If he's not abiding by the law, then what will the civilians do?
Right. And this is going to be, or this should be a lesson for the other law enforcement, security personnel and others, that they are not above the law.
Yeah.
They should always, make sure that they are responsible for their own wrongdoings. Because, I mean, the police could have, fired a warning shot before, sending it straight to
shooting and killing. But then also, what could possibly have been the issue that he needed to take out his sidearm?
That was the point I was coming from. Because if it's just an argument, why will you just, as you said, pull it out to shoot? I think something went on. So that is why the police said they are investigating. It means there is something that went on. So we just have to know what exactly went on. Because I wanted to know, why would a police have issue with someone just pull up a gun? But I got to understand that before he or she will pull up a gun, it depends on the action, depends on
Yes.
what happens.
And if it's over a fair, it
something.
still does not warrant that.
You shooting someone.
And
And
I'm always
the IGP and some of the police officials have actually visited the family of the deceased, and they've assured them that they'll make sure the truth of the issue is going to be out.
But
yes,
getting to the point of killing or murdering someone should always be the last or the least thing you can think about, right? You can shoot any part of the person's body.
Why do you even want to shoot, first of all?
Maybe for self-defense, there are instances where people have no other choice than to do something, right?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, to get to the point of killing the person is like a bit deep. Unless maybe if you don't kill the person will kill you.
Yeah.
But if not, this is not even your issue. It is not about you. It is about somebody you picked up, right? And then another person. You should have just a warning shot or...
you see, looking at the issue, they
had a dispute over the fair.
We are not looking at the kind of dispute. We are not privy to that. So it's like it has made our conversation quite not.
Yeah.
But if you are privy to the kind of dispute, that's when you'll be able to speak to very well.
And I think we should leave it to...
Well, I also want to come from the angle of the psychological evaluations that they do, or taking up mental health seriously in our country. Because if I know in these services, the police service, immigration, all these sort of the armed forces, I think they do some amount of psychological evaluation. As to how often and how rigorous it is, I am not privy to that information. But if things like this are taken up seriously, we can move forward, because this is clearly somebody who is very hot-tempered. Because if you're fighting, or if you're having a dispute over a fair, and you are already willing to shoot and kill somebody, what else, or what are the lengths you are probably willing to go just because you have gotten so angry or you've been so disrespected that you shoot and kill another human being, not injure, kill.
You see, and I was very happy when the Ghana Armed Forces came out with a report that showed the number of people among them that had mental health issues, right?
Yeah.
They did that to show that they are not perfect.
Yes.
They came out to tell us that we have some people facing that and we are trying to mitigate it. I think the Ghana Police Service should also do same and also examine, as you are saying,
do some psych evaluations, routine psychological evaluation, even if it's every 3 or 6 months. Because there are things going on.
There have been so many instances. It is just this one that,
we've heard of. But
there are so many instances where policemen, maltreat, kill civilians, and then they go scot-free.
Because I used to read certain bits of stories on social media where sometimes maybe people go and report issues in the police station, somewhere in places like Nigeria. And if you're a lady, if you dare sleep, if you're caught and you're put in a cell, your life is not safe. You're not safe there. You may get molested.
Wow.
And these are officials that are supposed to be enforcing the law. So you realize that there's a lot of work that needs to be done. I'm hoping that it's not as rampant in Ghana though. But then of course, Ghana and Nigeria are like brother and sister. So we have a comment here, our very own Obiba Wilson. He says, "Good morning, Prince and Princesses." Good morning, fellow Prince. Good morning to you. So the next story is here about fears of food insecurity are raised by the severe drought in northern Ghana. There is a terrible drought in northern Ghana right now, which has raised a lot of concerns regarding food security and the livelihood of thousands of farmers. The area has not seen rain in almost 2 months, and the protracted dry season has stunted crop growth and given farmers little hope for a bumper yield. The lack of rainfall has resulted in significant losses as staples like rice, maize, groundnuts, millet all wither. There are fears of an impending famine and possible food crisis as a result of the extended drought, which has caused a dramatic decline in food production. A few farmers conveyed their concerns that it could be too late to undo the harm the drought has caused. So it seems even if it rains today, nothing may come out of that.
Looking at what we saw on the screen, the plants are all dying. No seeds are germinating. Nothing is happening up there. And unfortunately for them, over 90% of Northerners depend on agricultural and staple foods like rice, maize, and other things. So when I saw the story, I was a bit concerned. I have this friend of mine who even posted on social media about the same story. He's into farming. And he was very, very sad and worried because he didn't know what he was going to do next. So I think this story, government should do something.
Well, aside government we know places like Dubai that are literally in the desert. And they've been able to, not that I'm comparing Ghana to Dubai, we are miles behind, but they've been able to put in structures to try to be able to check their irrigation issues, find some water and humidity for the place when the weather is dry. Things. I think even in Qatar, there are outdoor ACs and things. So why not, look at that and try to scale it down to our level where we can do something regarding irrigation? Because I know there are many countries that have very dry savanna areas, but they are able to do some kinds of farming activities that help with irrigation. So what can our Northerners or our Northern brothers also do? What can they, emulate that can help them, that even if it does not rain, there's some water reserve or there's something that can help out? So,
Yara, that's my big issue as you've talked about, because we know the northern parts. That's where mostly they said there's a lot of dryness.
Yes, it's a savanna area.
There's a lot of dryness, and so hearing this news from the northern parts, one, it's not really new to us, but to the fact that it's going to bring food insecurity. That is the point that is very, very important that we need to talk about, because when there is food insecurity, it affects so many things. The economy becomes so tight. The northern part standard of living will be very high because the little food they have, that is what they are supposed to feed on. So just imagine the population of Northerners feeding on that small product or the food they have. Things are going to shoot up. So if it so happens, if you don't have money, you'll not be able to buy whatever you want to buy. This issue, when it came up, the 2021 Best Farmer of National Best Farmer also said something concerning this very issue. And I'm looking at the point that aside the irrigation, there are a lot of things that the Ministry of Food and Agriculture need to do. The Ministry of Food and Agriculture has been in Ghana for so many years. We know the situation of the northern part. This situation is not today. This is not the first time. So why should we wait till now even to talk about this?
And my mind just went back to agric studies in school, where one of the farming, I've forgotten the term, but there's this crop rotation thing where you plant based on the times and seasons. So maybe at this time where it's seemingly dry, then you can start farming crops that will thrive in that time. Then you switch to crops that will thrive during the rainy season. It's something that can help.
But the issue is
they were expecting rain.
Is their rainy season.
Yes, that's true.
And,
So coming back, you can't predict. It's nature. Anything can happen. And when you read the news, they said the climate has changed. It's climate issues. So in as much as the climate has changed, there should have been a provision.
And the funny thing is, this is not ending anytime soon. According to research, they say in the year 2050, it is going to be worse. It is going to, a lot of people in developing countries are going to die out of poverty, hunger, malnutrition, and a whole lot.
Yes. So, Mimi, this issue, that is why the Ministry of Food and Agriculture need to step in. Yes, we are doing well looking at other aspects, planting for food and stuff, but we should also look at the other northern part of the country. How do we help them out? In the aspect of irrigation you talked about, we have a lot of agencies like the Food and Agriculture Organization of Ghana, which is an international agency. They collaborate with the Ministry of Agriculture, and they help in this food insecurity, fight against food insecurity. I know the ministry has a program known as Ghana Agriculture Sector Investment Program. This program is also there to support our fight against food insecurity. We also have the Ghana Irrigation Development Authority. As we talk about irrigation, we have an authority on its own in Ghana.
Okay.
That's Ghana Irrigation Development Authority. So this authority need to have, as you said, a project in the northern part. That should be where the focus should be. So that at this point in time we won't suffer, because now people have lost their money, investment. People have invested in acres of land. They've lost it. So imagine, when are they going to get back this amount of money to invest again? So the standard of living there is still going to be very hard.
And a lot of people up there are going to migrate down here.
Yes, migration issue. And the Accra Nankasa and new migrants coming in. So you see, there is going to push a lot of pressure
on us.
Pressure. So I think the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, they need to do something about it as soon as possible.
Thank you very much. So the last story here says, the December polls are ready to go, Dampare. So Dr. George Ekufu Dampare, the Inspector General of Police, has guaranteed that the police will be prepared to maintain law and order both before and after the elections in December. He claims that the service is prepared to put in a lot of effort to make sure Ghana won in the end. Speaking on Monday at the Electoral Commission's offices in Accra, he said that the staff would be sent to every polling station where exhibition exercises would be held. Election year.
You see, one thing about IGP is that he's always proactive. He's always advising people. He's always, on the go on things that we can do to help us live in a peaceful society. And I think this news or his proactiveness shows that we are ready for the elections. But my major concern is the fact that he still needs to do more of the advice, especially to politicians. Because we were in this country when a politician said they are going to win the elections by hook or crook. A statement like this incites, fear and panic in others. It means no matter what, you are going to win the elections. So I think IGP needs to also look into that direction, to talk to these politicians, because they have a very large fandom. They have a large population following them, following the party. We just saw the NPP. Look at the number of people. And then somebody from NDC will say something like this. What do you think NPP supporters are going to do? What do you think NDC supporters are going to do? Right? We can all have a peaceful election if politicians also mind the way they talk. That's the only concern I want to.
That's very true. But the one amazing thing, I think over the weekend or in the course of last week, it happened at Bantama. NPP supporters, NDC supporters, they came together and it was fun.
I saw that.
You saw that, yes, and it was fun. It was
but
there are still something there. It was very.
I remember we went to cover something about the elections some months back at the NAT Hall, where the Teachers Association, the Ghana National Association of Teachers and things, a whole lot of associations were there, and they were talking about the elections. So we even had people from the Peace Council. We had people from the Electoral Commission. We even had, our very own Dampare also give presentations on their preparations for the upcoming elections. And he made mention of the fact that they are working hand in hand with every possible stakeholder that is involved so that this year's elections would be as smooth as it has always been. And then also the preparation is not just for before and after, but before, during and after. He even mentioned there was this, it's been a while, but I will try my best. A 24-hour election police station, something of the sort.
Yes, I remember
that. I think you can always access them and they are going to be set up. I think if it hasn't already started being set up. So I think that this IGP is, as you said, he's very proactive. He seems to have these police service on their feet, ready to combat any kind of crime and violence. We even had the Peace Council also give a presentation on the fact that they are also going to be having some kinds of committee conversations and even involving all the political parties to come and sort of swear an oath or something about signing the treaty, making sure that peace is everybody's priority. And I really, really like that so much. Even at the Ghana Report Summit too, I think you mentioned something about the fact that they are going to put measures in place to make sure that the elections go as smooth as possible. And that's is very, very good, and we really commend our IGP.
So, I think the reason why this election, it's kind of tension. I don't know, personally, from what I said, I see it to be a tension in the atmosphere. Some kind of tension. Because everybody wants to get it. Nobody wants to leave as it is. So it's a tension. It's a tension. But we are believing God that things get very smoothly.
It is good you mentioned that we are believing God.
I still quote the IGP who said during the Ghana report, he said Ghana is my own and your own and it's our own. So we need to preserve it.
Politicians
and we also want to
take
say,
note of the use of
I think the Peace Council issue you said, recently we heard one of the political party, one of the chairman making a statement that they might not sign the peace retreat, of which the Peace Council has come out to speak that they should sign. And the chairman's point is that over the past year's election, certain things have happened and they've not been able to resolve all these things. So he doesn't know why he should pen his signature under another peace retreat. So we are entreating all the stakeholders involved that please, they should make sure that the necessary things are done before the D-Day.
When you were just saying this, something came in mind. When Yaira was talking about the summit you attended some months back, mentioning the kind of stakeholders, I was just about to say that I hope it wasn't just in talks, like they didn't just say it, but they are implementing it.
We will see it.
You see what Clement just said, that someone didn't want to sign because, I mean, they will come and then say whatever they want to say, but are you really at it? Are you working towards it?
Well,
you get it.
As the days go by, the evidence of whatever they've said will come to play. If it is in words, we will see it. If it is in action, we will see it. So
and also we also entreat Ghanaians to also participate in the exhibition exercise. It's a very nice process. You just go to check if your name is reading the register. If it's not in, then you inform the exhibition officer, make sure the necessary corrections are done, and you are good to go. So please, let's all participate in this exercise and let's exercise our franchise.
Of course.
That's what
very important. I can't wait.
Thank you very, very much for another insightful news review with you. And I hope to see you again on Thursday. So this brings us to the end of the online news review. Up next is the lifestyle segment. And I'm sure you have heard about threats of yet a possible pandemic or epidemic. Pandemic, yes. Called the monkeypox, also known as mpox. I don't think you know anything about it. You've just heard the name and you're scared, right? Yes. Miriam Abnadidi and her guest will be here right after this break to educate us on the monkeypox, preventive measures, causative organisms, and how to protect ourselves, and even treatment. So stay glued to your seat, call a friend, text a friend, join our live stream. We're coming to you also on Facebook and YouTube. Join us on TV, Clock TV, Go TV channel 184, and call a friend, as I said, and join and learn something about this monkeypox and how to protect yourself and your loved ones. We will be right back.